Bonjour, I'm Ian Porteous, and I've been touring for 15 years with Les Boucherons, teaching traditional French-Canadian culture the fun way. Through this experience of teaching culture to over 500,000 students, I've developed an online resource that's revolutionary. Here's a few questions for you. How do you inspire authentic engagement? Spark the imaginations of your students? How do you set the tone for a healthy, inclusive, adventurous community classroom environment that will alter the course of your students' future? How do you be the kind of teacher your students will fondly remember? How do you build community in your classroom? Why is it important to restore culture? How can curriculum be enhanced? How do you build confidence in your students and yourself? How important is social etiquette? Is it possible to turn language learning into an adventure? Using the online resource, schools and students have seen transformation.
It's like made my class like really positive and like more happy, and everyone's excited to go to French now. And like instead of like before, I used to just like everyone's like, oh, I don't want to go to French
and like
but
sit
now,
down and do work.
So
we got up and like
we danced and we sang and we played the spoons, and yeah, it was really fun and exciting to go to French now.
Students are involved in the participating in the songs because they want to be rather than they have to. But these online webcasts and videos were then used with the songs to assist the students throughout the day and had access 24 hours to the information needed to make this day a success. As a lot of the students that you may have seen or talked about earlier, the energy that's been brought up into this event is phenomenal.
So we developed a model called the cultural wheel. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just a little intro to the cultural wheel. The first quadrant of the cultural wheel is folklore. Okay, so here's an example of the wheel. So we've got folklore up here. So this is a philosophy which is pan-cultural. That means it has nothing to do with French. It has to do with any culture, whether you're German or whatever. So we start with folklore. Folklore is where we hold the data for what we're going to administer to ourselves or to our children. So that's the stories, the songs, the legends, the tales, the jokes, you name it. The folklore is a very wide category. So the solution that we're offering from Les Boucherons, from the French perspective, would be the songs. I'm also getting into stories big time. Recently, fairy tales and French folklore and stuff like that is amazing. I'm completely immersed in the fairy tale side of things. The second quadrant is community. It's like, okay, once we have this data, what do we do with it? Who is it? Like, it doesn't mean anything unless it can be shared, right? It should be delivered somehow or another. We got to get the song out to our community. So there's a whole quadrant called community, and that's where our focus and solution is the dances. So what's different with this new generation of Les Boucherons is that every single catchy, amazing song is choreographed with a dance. So dancing doesn't just become dancing anymore. Dancing is a part of the song and a part of the language learning. Third quadrant is a word that I kind of brought back into circulation. I don't know exactly what it was used for, but I kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to give this word a new definition. And the word is constructivism. So it means, how can we now create, as human beings, the only difference that we have between animals and ourselves is the fact that we do things with our fingers. So constructivism is the kinesthetic aspect of what's going on outside of the dance. So building banners, you know, Valentine's Day cards, birthday cards, hats, costumes, picking up a fiddle, learning to play it. The wooden dancing men is one of our solutions to that issue. And of course, the wooden spoons. So under the constructivism quadrant is where we hold all of the spoon instruction, which is associated then to that specific folklore song. And then the fourth quadrant is celebration. It's like, what's all this for? And what I found with myself over the years is that if I'm not working towards an objective or an event or something, it's like, well, what's it for? Can someone give me the difference between, like, what's the difference between just a party and a celebration. Theme, anyone help with some ideas on traditions? Purpose? So that's kind of exciting to think like, oh yeah, you know, so there's the winter carnival, so it can be a big party with sugar and stuff like all that, but how can we sort of make it into a celebration? And so those are some of the issues that I also talk about as well in the book.
It's very thorough. Nothing is missed, so that you can completely sing the song, you can understand the lyrics, you can do the dance. There's spoons, so you can present it in various ways.
Well, this has been fantastic for our school, a great opportunity. I'm the music teacher. I teach all the elementary music, and I'm not a French speaker. So it's been very helpful for me to go online and go into the folklore and hear and see the different songs presented. It's been great to hear Gilbert go through each phrase by phrase. He's very, very expressive, and so the kids are interested in what he's saying. And his pronunciation, for the most part, is slow enough that we can get it right. And I can go back and do it again and again until we get it right. So that's been really helpful.
I think music is a great way to promote French language learning because repetition promotes retention, right? The more times that they sing something, then the words become so they know them inside out. They know what the words mean, they know how to use them in speech, they have phrases that belong to them.
Oh yeah, they loved it. They especially loved when they could watch a performance of another school. That school you had on there that I believe was from Calgary or wherever, and they saw other kids singing in French. Because then it was like, oh, other kids are singing in French too. We thought it was just us. And I'm like, no, of course other people have done this. So they really liked that. But when I could actually play that music right off of your website there, oh yeah, the energy was way higher than just trying to sing it through by yourselves. Yeah. Much better.
Oh. Yes, well, it made a lot less prep time for me. I was able to listen to it a few times ahead, and if you have a bit of music in your background, it's easy to pick up the melodies. So that part was easy for me. And then the French, it just came because I didn't have to do a lot of it. You know, it was presented by Gilbert. He would do it, and I would work with the kids, and I learned as the kids did. I learned the proper pronunciation. So it was easy.
Their confidence and their self-esteem, I noticed, improves with their use of the French language in songs.
Oh, it's very clear because you guys have set it all up in nice folders with where you can find music, where you can find the dance, where you can find other kids who have done it. It was very well organized.
So I think this is an amazing resource for integrating French culture as well as the language into the French program.
They're really attentive. They're very excited to see you. They really buy into the program, which builds up the energy, right? So it's been good.
Because if they do it again and again and again, then that's what sticks in their head is music.
Well, the technology is fantastic. Like I said, it just bringing it in and making it very real for the kids. It was easy for me. Because sometimes, not being French speaking, I'd go into a class and I'm trying to remember their song, which particular song they're supposed to be learning. So I'd immediately go to the computer, I'd log in and be set to go and pull up the song, and immediately the tune comes to my head. Same thing, that the smartboard it's big, it's visual, and the kids are they're glued to it, right? It's the more modern day television. That's how we show our movies now. So the kids are very into it. They watch. It's larger than life. Yeah, it's just so easy. It's quick and easy. There's no delay. Yeah, it's just very quick. And like I said, for someone like me who's not French speaking, it just made it so much easier for me.
Oh, it's been very good because I could access it whenever I wanted. And since I'm not familiar yet with all the songs, you know, it was all on there. The music was on there, the actual musical notes, the singing, Gilbert doing singing and stuff.
It was interesting in the school because there were some teachers who were not as on board. And once our lead teacher showed us how to access everything, I think it took away the the fright from some of the staff, because people are afraid and they don't want to do it because they're afraid of failing. But when you realize you're learning with the kids and it's very clearly presented, it's very easy.
Oh, we would have competitions. I'd play the one that had the actual lyrics with somebody singing, and the boys would sing, and then the girls would sing, and then we play the karaoke version, and just the kids had to sing. Yes, we made it into a little game at times, which was kind of fun. That worked out really well. They liked that.
I think this is a great system to use to help preserve the music, to restore the music, to keep it in the children's minds as they grow and mature, and that the songs that we learn when we're younger stick with us forever, right? Not maybe as much when we're older, but when we're younger, it's a great way to preserve our history and our culture. This is a very, very powerful tool for a music teacher, someone who is a music major and someone who is not a music major. If I were a classroom teacher, I would certainly use this tool to go in, and if I was doing anything with French or French Canada, I would go in and use this tool to learn the songs, and use it in my classroom to teach the students. You know, if you're doing grade 5 and 6 Canada, this is a great way to teach them about the explorers. And it's all done for you. It's really painless. It's very painless. You just go in, log in. We all use our computers daily. We'd go in and log in and go to Les Bougerons, go into the folklore. That's where I went to, was folklore. And I just looked for a specific song that I wanted, and it clearly explains the translation, phrase by phrase, and even gives you some actions to use and the correct pronunciation, and it's got a very clear melody line as well that's easy to follow.
The online resource, it was thorough, it was comprehensive, it enhanced French language learning in our school immensely, and it made for a great concert, so I'm very thankful.
Enter your information to access a free trial and learn right now how to transform your classroom through cultural restoration. Go ahead, get started on your new adventure of transforming your classroom through oral tradition and cultural restoration. And I'll see you on the other side where you can access the free trial. Thank you.